Roll for Crit at PAX Unplugged 2019. We're at the Dr. Finn booth with the doctor himself, Steve. You have a new game coming out to show us. I'm all about magic. Really excited. What is this?
All right, so this is going to be called the School of Sorcery, and it is a remake of a game called the Institute for Magical Arts, which I made a long time ago, a few years ago. But I've decided to make some adjustments. As I become, I'm an independent game designer, and I've been doing this now for about 10 or 12 years. And as I continue to grow, I feel like I become a better designer, and I'm getting a lot better at the presentation and the way the game just looks on the table. So this has been a fairly popular game for me, and people have been asking for a reprint. So I decided to just, while I'm about to reprint it, I might as well redo it. I did this once before with Cosmic Run, which is another game, and I was very happy with that result. So I made Cosmic Run, and then I made Cosmic Run Regeneration. And the new version just looks a lot better. I tweaked some of the rules, and I feel like it's I nailed it that time. So I think I'm going to hopefully do that again with this game.
I'm definitely interested in what the changes are, because I'd love to hear the process of going through. But first, what about the people who didn't get the chance to play the first time? Yeah. What is the game itself?
All right, yeah. So it's kind of set in a Harry Potter-esque world of two competing magicians who are trying to gain influence at the School of Sorcery. And what you're going to be doing is casting your crystals out to different locations where there's some cards. What happens is the game happens in many phases, but it's pretty straightforward. At the beginning of each round, people will take 5 crystals, which I've already taken, and then you're going to be rolling your dice. This is all simultaneous. So one good thing about this game is there's very little downtime. You're not going to be waiting that much at all for your opponent, because you're both doing things at the same time. So you roll the dice, and then these dice will determine where you're going to be sending out your crystals. So if you really want this card, you'd want a die roll of 5. You have some reroll cubes to manipulate to re-roll the dice if you don't like that. A lot of dice games, like there could be some really bad rolls. There could be some really good rolls here, but you can almost always do something good with your dice rolls. And so there's different cards here. These are the casting cards. What you would do is simultaneously you'd place down your cards, and then what this would do is you'd reveal, and then, for example, this says cast 3 crystals to location 6. So I'd put them out on location 6. This one is a special card, and you have a couple in your hand. You have 6 cards, and you can use them every round, but you're always using 3. This one says flip the die to its opposite side. So in this case, I'd turn a 3 to a 4, and then I'd cast 1 crystal out to 4, and on this one, I would send 1 crystal out to 3.
So this is a bit of a bluffing game. You roll a dice and then see.
Yeah, well, bluff might be, I don't know if it's the exact word, but yes. You can look at the other player's dice, so you don't know, are they going to do that side or the other side, right? Now, once everybody has cast the crystals out, there's a card here called the Portal, and that starts at location 6, but it will move during the game. And this is a good one. If you get 3 6s, that's probably pretty good, because that's where the portal is. Because what the portal allows you to do is to move the gems, move your crystals, after you get to see what the other person has done.
So they're pretty much like the wilds.
It's the wilds, yeah. And what you're really trying to do, as I didn't actually say, but you're trying to get crystals on the card to beat your opponent. So each card in the upper left corner tells you how many crystals you need to win the card, but then there's a smaller number that tells you the margin of victory. So it's 5-3 in this case. That means I have to have 5 crystals, and I have to have 3 more than you.
Okay.
So if I had 5 and you had 4, I haven't yet won the card.
Gotcha.
Right. So you need a. That way someone could kind of delay you from winning by keep throwing some crystals on.
Right. They may not want it, but they can just make you work for it.
And also, if you do win a card, you don't get your crystals back, but the other player can get that many back.
Okay.
In the next round, they might have more to spend. Because you'll get 5 crystals every round, but sometimes you'll start collecting them, and then you'll be able to send out even more than 5. But the portal, also a really fun little element in the game, is when both people are on the portal, there's a simultaneous action selection where you grab a card to shield the die, and then you both simultaneously pick where you're going to send it. So you're thinking, oh, where's he going to send it? Where's she going to send it? Oh, I don't know what to do. And then
And once again, you're doing that simultaneously, so there isn't any of that waiting for someone to choose that die. You could just both of you are choosing at the same time.
well, choosing at the same time. But that's actually a lot of fun of the game because you're trying to guess, are they going to go there? They can win that card, but if I go there, I can win the card. Are we both going to go there? Or do I give up that card to do that?
Exactly.
And now, so that would be using the portal, right? So let's assume I do that. Then the next phase is you start with some red bordered cards, which are permanent cards.
Okay.
And each of those has a power. And the one person would use their cards and the other person would use their cards. And the person who goes first is the leader, is whoever's winning the game. And there's a mechanism to keep making that switch. Because to go first actually is a disadvantage.
Oh.
You get to react. It's much better to react to what the person did than to have the initiative.
Should have seen that with playing enough Magic to know with all the counter spells they like reacting.
Right. So if you're losing the game, there's a little bit of a catch-up mechanism that you could do that. And as you collect cards, so there's 3 general types of cards. There's a green, yellow, and a red. The green cards are instantaneously used. So you'll score the points and then activate the power. And they do all sorts of stuff. Move crystals, take crystals off, put crystals on, get reroll cubes, and so forth. Stop people from using a die, that kind of stuff. The yellow bordered cards are one-time use. So when you collect that, you'll put it with your red cards, and then when anytime you want, you just stop the game. I'm going to use this power now, and then you'll move it, over to the side. And the red cards, start stacking up, and then every round you'll be able to use those, right? But it's a fairly quick game. It's if once you know what all the cards do and you know the rolling, it's like a half an hour game.
It's definitely interesting because you got all the dice you're choosing at the same time, but you also have instant spells, so it just sounds like it's going to be this crazy back and forth of what's starting. Oh, not instant spells, I guess.
It's not too mean of a game, but there is some back and forth. And you can play in a couple different ways. Like, are you the type of person that's just like 2 people could just constantly fight for 1 card? Or are you going to say, you know what, I'm just going to give up on that so I can go over here? So it depends on the kind of person you want to be in this game. Am I going to be mean? Am I going to just like do my own thing for a little while?
And I'm sure, of course, the cards that come out could decide that too.
The cards decide that, absolutely.
Now, what were the changes you actually made from the first edition, the Magical Arts, to the Institute of Sorcery? What were how did the school upgrade itself?
All right, so here there's the artistic upgrade, which is I have a whole new graphic design, and like these borders, the new icons and things like that. I also changed it so now the permanent, one-time use and instant are now just easily distinguished by the border. I used to have a small little icon, and they were white bordered cards. So now you're just like, oh, that's a red card. I know that's permanent. That's yellow. I'm going to be able to do that. So it's like you can see it immediately. And for anyone who's colorblind, I also have some small symbols for red and green. But from my friend over here who is colorblind, he says he can easily distinguish. So I think the color scheme is okay.
It's a small thing, but I think it's important.
Yeah. I always try to make sure that works. The other thing in the first version, I did not have unique art on every card. I also did not have a unique power on every card. So, for example, I had a couple wands that moved things around. So now, though, every card is unique. Both artistically and with its power.
So gameplay-wise, you're definitely going to have much different games between playthroughs because it's very hard for the exact same things.
Exactly.
And then art-wise, obviously, it's also much easier to see, like, oh, it's that card. I remember that because the art.
And I made a mistake where I had some wands. The wand always shifted things, but like one of the wands shifted 2 crystals, and one shifted 1, but it was the same artwork.
Right.
So that was like one of those early design errors, I would say, that I learned from.
How does it feel like to take a game like this, or like before you said with Cosmic Run, and give it those final extra tweaks?
I love doing this. It's like, because I feel like I've made progress. I started a long time ago making games, and now I could look back and when I see like the new result, I just say, I'm getting so much better at this. And I also tweak some of the minor cards, rules, and things like that. One rule tweak is you used to be able to collect crystals with a die roll. So people who rolled higher numbers were more likely to be getting more crystals.
Taking away a bit of that mitigated luck.
Yeah, so I took that out, and now just everybody always gets 5. And, each round you're getting 5. So that I also took out 1 die now, so you don't have to place another card. Okay. So that streamlines it a little. So it makes the dice roll a little less impactful with regard to just higher numbers being.
So you don't feel like you're getting ruined? Because, I guess if you really wanted that 5 and don't get a 5, it stinks, but you're still getting something when a bunch of low numbers can really feel much more
If you just keep getting low numbers in the original game, you're not getting a lot of crystals.
Yeah.
But, what ends up, as you know, over time, dice rolls usually balance out.
Yeah, should.
They should balance out.
Yeah, we've had some risk games where that did not happen.
Yes. So, but it's in the original game, there's a lot of dice rolls, and there was a lot of re-rolling. So even in that game, it was mitigated, but it wasn't. This is better. Right.
So this looks a lot of fun, and you were kind enough to send us a preview copy, so we'll have a Kickstarter preview for that very soon too. So we're really excited to check it out and give us our thoughts there while we play it a lot more. But until then, this has been Roll for Crit at PAX Unplugged.
If you love board game content, do us a favor, like and subscribe, and support us on Patreon.
Keep watching our content to guarantee you'll top deck a good video.